I'm going to deploy PacMotor and see if I can drive it autonomously. I'm going to control it wirelessly through the internet and use GPS navigation to drive around this poles and drive around this island.
After we showed the solar-powered autonomous paddleboard, we got a flood of questions. How did you build it? So here it is. Matt breaks down exactly how we turned a paddleboard into a solar-powered marine drone using PacMotor, GPS, and Starlink.
This is an Android phone that's hanging on the PacMotor. So to get this project started, I kind of just laid everything out on the table that I'm going to be wiring up so I can kind of see how things are going to go together. That's the Starlink. That's going to be wired into this bus bar here. And I started with these two cables there. And the whole point is I'm going to be putting in everything into this box. So um, here's the battery that I'm going to use. This is a custom built 4-cell 100 amp hour battery. So this is going to be a longer run time for this solar panel duration test I'm going to do. But this whole solar panel charging system will work for PacMotor's 16 volt battery as well. So I'll be showing that later. Here's how I kind of built this box. Just got a regular tough box here, but I'm drilling 4 holes into it. I got the battery case prepared. I got the 4 holes drilled on that side, 1 on this side. It's going to be for the battery input, solar panel, Starlink, and then USB charger all under this. And you can see here, this is the smart solar charge controller. This is like the main brains for the solar panel. And it also has an iPhone app or an Android app you can use to connect to it to give you a bunch of cool readouts. And so I'll be plugging my battery bus into one side, and then the solar panel will be plugged into there. And then here is a USB and a USB-C port that I'm going to be wiring into this box as well, so that I can hook up my GoPro and my Android. Here's a few cables that I use that I have to custom make all these cables to make everything wired together real nice, and then have it all like sealed so that it can be waterproof. And so this is kind of how I designed it, where I drilled these holes and then these will slide right in, and they have some washers in the back, some rubber washers to seal. These are kind of the same parts we use for PacMotor, so it's handy to do stuff like this. So here's the wiring diagram basically, where I have my bus bars. The top bus bar is actually going to be used for the battery high amperage side. So all the high amperage stuff is going to be up on that bus bar, which is like the battery input, and then the PacMotor output is going to be plugged into the bottom one. So those are going to be isolated where their own amperage stays on that high amperage bus bar. And then the bottom side, oh, this right here is actually going to be for the solar panel. So the solar panel comes into there, and then the controller handles distributing the power. And then there's a load output right here. So this load output is going to the bottom bus bar, which is going to be powering the Starlink and then also the USB ports, so I can plug in my GoPro and my phone. So my smartphone is going to be plugged in as well to get battery power. This way, I can actually see through the application of the solar panel how much load is being used just for the Starlink and for the iPhone. Okay, so here's basically the final product. I have everything tucked in there, and have everything tightened down. All the ports, the waterproof ports, are connected. I have the USB-C port and the USB, and that's good to go. And then here's where the solar panel will plug in. That puts in about 20 to 30 volts, and then it goes straight to the controller, which is manages distributing the power to charge the battery pack, And it also has an app where I can set or I can see the statistics of the load going to the Starlink and the mobile phone. So I'll be able to monitor that while it's on the water, to see where I'm at with those kind of outputs. And then I'll be able to monitor the battery pack through the voltage, and I'll use PacMotor app to do that. So I'll be able to figure out if the battery's low or if it's charging. So I can do that through the PacMotor app or through the smart controller app. And then I just have these cushions here where it's just gonna kind of hold everything down. But I'm always gonna keep it in this orientation, so it's not gonna be an issue. So let's test these out. Here's the solar panel, and there's the connection I made for the solar panel. They gave you a bunch of options for the solar panel, but I'm just going to use this T90 or T60 connection here. Just hooked up to the PacMotor quick disconnect. And that one's gonna plug into here, which goes into the solar panel controller. But here's the solar panel. It's a foldable solar panel. So I'm gonna set this out. I'm gonna make this fully autonomous. I'm gonna do a test where I'm just gonna like do a fully autonomous expedition, so you'll see it on the next YouTube video. It's gonna be really cool. So the first thing you should do is you should plug in the battery. So there's the PacMotor 16-volt battery pack, 50 amp hour. You can use the 16 volt on this setup and it'll still charge, or you can use the other battery, which is a 12 volt. It's actually 14 volt battery system here, which is 100 amp hours. Okay, there we go. So now it's blinking blue, if you can see that. That means your battery's hooked up. And now what I can do is, just to test everything, I'm gonna plug in the PacMotor. Let me get a cable for that. And this is directly on the battery bus, so you should hear this kick on right away. Okay, so the PacMotor's turned on, and here's the remote for that. So, of course we can use the GPS app as well, PacMotor app. Alright, so then now, let me plug in the Starlink. So the Starlink is going to go into the load. Actually, before I do that, let me go get the Android phone so I can show you. Okay, so here's the solar panel. I just connected to it, so you can see that it found the bars just went up to full because I'm right next to it. You can connect to it, and the solar panel now, the solar panel controller now, you can see that down here at the load output, when I plug in the Starlink, it's gonna now have a load on the load side. So we should see this go from 0 amps to maybe 1 amp or 1.5 amps. So here we go. 10 amps, 0.7 amps. Oh, and then you can see the blue light on the solar panel. On the Starlink is now turned on, and we're almost at 1 amp, 12 watts. So it's booting up. So that's going to be my connectivity. And now the last thing to do is hook up the solar panel. And the solar panel now plugs into this side. So now the solar panel, you can see the voltage on the solar panel just went up to 11.75 volts. So it's getting some power just being here inside the room. And the battery voltage is 16.5 because that's the PacMotor 16 volt amp battery. And I have the PacMotor plugged in. So I think I have the full system ready to go for a test, a water test. And then I can just close this down like this. And now I have everything ready to go. Alright, look what I'm doing here, guys. I'm gonna mount the solar panel on the panel, right? And then the idea is to put the camera like this. Should be fine sitting on there. GoPro. You can see the GoPro on the paddleboard, right? And then I'm gonna put PacMotor on the back. So PacMotor is gonna go like this, right? PacMotor goes like this, like you normally would, just using it yourself. You know, you would sit right there and PacMotor goes right here. But what I'm secretly making is a fully autonomous vehicle that can go out on the water, vessel, should I say, not vehicle, vessel, and I can control it through Starlink. So then Starlink's gonna go like right here. And then the final piece is the phone, my Android phone, which is, if I open it up, I can I can go to the PacMotor app right here and connect to PacMotor through the internet. So I'm going to mount this phone right here and VPN into the Android, and then also VPN into the camera, and then control it from in my office or my laptop. It's gonna be kind of crazy. I'm doing all this just to show you the capability of PacMotor, like how advanced we developed it, where you can just kind of do limitless things with it. And so obviously I'm gonna just install PacMotor like you normally would. I'll do that in a minute. And I can control it with the regular controller if I want to as I'm getting out of the dock, and then switch over to controlling it completely through the internet. So I'm gonna do this all on a YouTube video for you guys, just for excitement. Hopefully you can even see me, just to see how it turns out, see what we can do with it. And then maybe this thing can stay out in the water for days on end, and I can control it through the internet, because it's got a solar panel, so it's gonna be able to recharge the battery. So I'm gonna put the battery right in the back, like this. Actually, maybe I'll distribute the weight a little bit. That's the one reason why I got the flexible solar panel, so that I could find places to put the stuff underneath it. So this solar panel is flexible. So what I can do is do like this. There we go. Distribute the weight like that. I don't know if you could see me doing that, but I just propped up the solar panel. It's a flexible one, so that's why I got this one. And then of course we'll have all these wires taken care of, so they're not blocking any solar. But Yeah, so even like that would still be pretty good for a solar panel. So I don't see any issues with that. PacMotor is going to drive itself. I'll be able to control it through the internet. Yeah, so let's see how this turns out. I'll let you guys know. Alright guys, everything is finally wired up. I have my phone inside this box. It's the last thing I gotta figure out where to put. I got the motor, the Starlink. I double secured the Starlink. I got all the wiring inside this box. You saw me create that earlier. Got the solar panel and the battery and the camera mounted